What's going on, everybody? Chaseontwowheels here at Mountain Motorsports in Roswell, Georgia. In front of me, this big old thing, I got the 2024 Honda Africa Twin. Now, there's a couple models of the Africa Twin, guys. This is the base model. I do have adjustable suspension. This is not the electronic suspension or the Sport Adventure or whatever it's called. This is the regular model, and today we're going to be doing a first ride on it to see if this thing is a purchase or a pass. After I do my little course, I will let you guys know that at the end of the video. But without any further ado, let's get this thing started and see what it looks like and see what it sounds like. I just keep telling myself it's not hot. It's not hot. Everything's okay. So good. You know how good that sounded? As good as your music's gonna sound when you're listening to your cardo while you're riding your motorcycle. Discount code, link in description. Chris, can I melt?
No!
No?
No!
Okay.
Guys, this first start is brought to you by the lovely people over at Flying Eyes. If you guys have never heard of Flying Eyes, they make the undoubtedly best sunglasses ever for motorcycle riders. All the time when we're riding, if you want to wear sunglasses, you have to get them into the side of the helmet, and that can be so freaking painful. Well, with Flying Eyes, they have this genius, super thin arms that can slot into the side of your helmet without causing any pain. And you would think, oh, they're small and thin, they're fragile. No, my friend, they are not. They are indestructible, in fact. They have all types of models. I love all of them, and once you try these out, you will never be able to ride in any other sunglasses again. If you guys want a 10% discount code, I've got you in the description down below. Use code C2W, get 10% off, and enjoy the last pair of sunglasses you will ever buy to ride in. All right, guys, let's get back to this first ride.
Alrighty, my friends, let's get this one started. Guys, I feel like the Africa Twin is low-key. Like, it doesn't look fancy or anything like that, but I love the looks, and I think it's like one of those sleeper bikes that you don't realize how good it is until you spend some time on it. So, I hope at least. Let's get this thing cranked up with its little dual displays, and let's get this first ride started. Oh, 270-degree parallel twin, baby. Love it. Alrighty, guys, I'm 5'10", got a 32-inch inseam, and I do have the seat in the higher position today, and I have a slight bend in my legs, and I can only just flat foot this motorcycle. Definitely something to keep in mind. Now, before we get going, we do have rider modes. If I go up, I think I can change the modes. There it is. So as far as modes today, we are going to be playing around in touring, in urban, and then we are going to play in user 2. These are the three modes we're going to go through. There are some off-road modes that we're not going to get into today because, as you guys know, the first ride course is a fully road course. We're going to start in touring, which power is at its lowest amount, and that's where we're going to get started. Speaking of getting started, I'm boiling inside, and we're going to get going. Also, guys, I think most of you guys know, but we've fully given up on YouTube alerting you guys of what's going on to the channel, the videos that go live. So we have an email newsletter that we would love for you guys to join. We only email you once a week, so if you want to join the On2 crew, we'd love to have you there. Links in the description down below, as always. Couldn't find the blinker, and that's no cars coming. We are headed out of here. Jesus Christ! Whoa! Whoa! That is power at 1? That doesn't make any sense at all. Okay,
you want.
whoa. I might not be ready for this first ride. Also, guys, I looked it up on the channel, and the last time I rode a Honda Africa Twin was, I believe, 2 or 3 years ago. It was on their 2021 model, and I know a decent amount of changes have happened on this model, so I'm excited to be back on this thing. I think this thing's going to be a good day. All right, guys, let's talk about body position to get the first ride going today. And remember, I do have the seat in the higher position. So right now, seat is perfectly comfortable. It is that sweet spot between being slightly hard but not letting you sink into it, which will cause pressure points. I love how the seat feels. As far as my legs, very comfortable position. They're only the slightest back, and then my upper torso is upright and my arms are just extended in front of me. This feels like a phenomenal position. And then if I stand up, yeah, handlebars stock are in a great position for me if I'm going to do some off-road stuff. Look at the Porsche. You guys didn't get to see it because that car blocked it. But anyways, guys, I love this body position. As a 5'10 guy, you know, I'm pretty average. I really like this setup right here. I could go across the country on this with no problem. And it looks like we're coming up to our red light. So we're going to get out of touring mode and go into urban mode. Urban mode is a click more power. So this should become very interesting very quickly. I am a little shocked at how much power mode 1 has. Like, that's terrifying. I would have needed traction control up so much more to handle the power of this thing. That's crazy. Also, while I've got a red light, I can show you guys that's a flimsy mechanism. I don't love that. Oh, it had the lock in place. I see. So it's little clampy guys that you just clamp on and go up and down. I don't love that, but you know what? You could be on the highway, do cruise control and fix that. There are definitely better mechanisms to do that, but you know what? I do appreciate the fact that you can adjust the windscreen. That is nice. Alrighty, guys, in urban mode, let's get her going. Man, I love hustling a big bike, dude. It's so much fun. Speaking of a big bike, it's got a big engine. Let's talk about the power plant in the Africa Twin. We are looking at a 1083cc parallel twin that has got a 270-degree firing order, which is my favorite. It's the same style engine that's in the MT-07. It's the same one that's in the 450 SS from CF Moto. I'm pretty sure that this engine configuration is my absolute favorite on any style of motorcycle, so I'm very excited to see that on the Africa Twin. Dude, look at this. One hand handlebar just wiggling, just like no problem at all handling this bike in the city. Now, guys, speaking of that power, we are looking at a engine that's putting out 100 horsepower and just around 83 foot-pounds of torque, which for a bigger bike, the numbers might not seem like a lot, but once you get on this thing and you start pulling the throttle, I think a lot of you guys are going to be surprised at how it lays down that power, because this thing will boogie. Holy shit. Also, it is having to pull, I believe the wet weight is 500 pounds. This thing is not light at all, but it is shocking how well this thing is in the city traffic. I love this. I guess it's the body position mixed with that torquey power. I really feel like you can just hustle this bike around and it is entirely compliant. I did not expect that. It is a bit bigger of a motorcycle. It's got the 21-inch front wheel, so I did expect it to be a little harder to move around, but pleasantly surprised here in the city. All the characteristics like combined, I could easily see this being your daily bike with no problem, be able to do everything. It does make me curious about the sport model, the one with a 19-inch front. It's a little more expensive, but I couldn't imagine this bike with a more sporty tire setup. That would be nuts. You guys have no idea how bad I want to just jump over there and get around all the traffic. And this is a bike that could do it. Clutch is feeling great here in the city. This bike is just so solid in a city environment. Where are you going, expensive boy? That Mustang almost ran into that. Alrighty, let's get her leaned over and see how she feels there. Are they going? They're gonna go? Okay, I'm gonna go. Woo-hoo-hoo! Good God, this bike got no business being this quick. At 500? At 500 pounds in urban? Bro, I'm about to put this thing in user 2. All right, we're in user 2. I know I'm changing that a little early. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just fascinated. If it's this quick and the power mode's not even in the max power mode, then what the hell is this power mode gonna be? I've got it in max power, max engine braking, least traction control, ABS on. At lower speeds, you can feel that 21-inch front wheel being a little lethargic, but overall, oh my gosh, way better than expected. This is the cool thing about a big bike like this, guys. It's really well balanced. I have no problem being in third gear, second gear, and just kind of casually with one hand on the handlebar, just like driving around traffic. I'm in a very comfortable body position, which makes me comfortable as a rider. I could be like this all day. If you put an E-clutch on this, like Honda just put on their CB650 and their CBR650, dude, this thing would crush the city. I really like the positioning of my legs when I got to bring my feet down. I know I'm a little bit taller, but that works out really well. Oh man, I'm sad that we got all this traffic today, guys. I think I could be just like crushing it around on this thing. With that softer suspension, you guys can see it, the bike shifting, right? We got adjustable suspension front and rear, but oh, this thing is so fun in the city. I love this. And it should be great on the highway too. I hope so, at least. Super good package for city riding, guys. And with it being crazy capable off-road, if you can deal with the weight and the size, this bike legit might be like a unicorn bike. Like literally just do everything. They make an SRT Chrysler 300. That's hilarious. Oh no, hurry up and get to the red. Nice job, Chrysler 300 guy. That's the proving ground right there, guys. This bike better be awesome over there. I love the steering. It is so light and easy. And for a bike that's 500 pounds, let's go. All right, my friends, green means go, and that means we need to find out how fast the 2024 Honda Africa Twin base model will go from 40 miles an hour to 80 miles an hour. Thanks to our buddies over at Law Tigers. They are our motorcycle lawyer friends. We're going to go ahead of the fast Chrysler boy, and they are bringing you the 40 to 80 pull, guys. So if you guys get in any trouble on the road, make sure to check them out. All right, on your mark, get set, go. That's 80, Jesus Christ. Oh, that's awesome. I love a parallel twin. Damn it. It's so good. It's so freaking good. Alrighty, guys, we are in the proving ground for the Africa Twin on the highway. We're in 6th gear going 85. And dude, that 21-inch front tire with the weight of the bike, I've got legitimately no wind on me. And the only place I can feel wind is the very top of my visor, or helmet, sorry. And I'm very thankful for that because I've got the vents open, so it's cooling me down. But I could raise this if I wanted to, and I would have full wind protection. I barely feel it on the outside of my arm here, but fantastic weather protection here on the Africa Twin. As far as comfort, everything is solid, dude. There's no little vibrations. I feel like I'm on a couch right now. This is fantastic. We do have cruise control we can set, and the bike's doing everything for us. Can I rotate forward to disengage? I can. Thank you, Honda, for making that a thing. I do appreciate it. So let's, for shits and gigs, put this up. Yeah, so the wind's going totally over my helmet now. Now, to be honest, it is way too hot to do that shit, so we are gonna put it, oh no, back down. See, there's a little finickiness with that. I don't love it. Anyway, don't love the windscreen. Love that you can do it. Don't love the implementation. As far as power on the highway, guys, you guys saw the highway entrance. I have no problem getting up to speed with this power plant. 100 horsepower and 80-something foot-pounds of torque is ample. And I'm in 6th gear just lugging it down. I could shift down and get going a little faster. Yeah, dude, you can hustle this thing. And that's with the 21-inch front tire. Oh, that's awesome. Honda, you have made a very special motorcycle here, and I am appreciative. I will say, when you're pushing it and you got the bike leaned over it, you can feel a little bit of imbalance with that front tire, so just be a little careful with that. Overall, guys, this thing's been fantastic. I'm going to listen to music while I finish up the highway. Thanks to our buddies over at Cardo. Alrighty, Africa Twin on the highway. We all knew that that was going to be great. It is as great as you would expect it to be. Let me just say that. That 21-inch front tire, you 100% can feel when you get the bike leaned over. You can feel the extra amount of energy it's taking to get it leaned over. But for this bike, I may be okay with that because I would want to do off-road stuff with it as well. And that 21-inch front tire is going to allow you to do that. But it feels totally solid leaning over. It doesn't feel sketchy at all. God, this thing is fun to ride, dude. Oh, shit. That power hits so good. Oh, it's intoxicating. Ooh, we definitely have ABS in the rear. So guys, when I was reading the stat sheet, you know, like prepping up for the first ride, I read 100 horsepower, and on a 500-pound bike, I'm gonna be honest, I was like, I don't know if 100 horsepower is gonna be enough for a guy like me to have fun on this bike. And I can happily say I don't know if there's been many more times that I've been so wrong. 100 horsepower is feeling awesome on this bike. We've done the highway, we've done the city. There's no way I would need more power than that off-road. And what a phenomenally balanced package this bike is. Golf claps to Honda for making this, man. You know, the Africa Twin's not new. It's been on the market for quite a while. It's got a cult following, and I'm really starting to understand that cult following now. This bike just does so many things right. Now, let's talk about how slow all these cars are going. Just to be clear, we're in a 45 and we're going 38. Just putting that out there. Oh, we're slowing down. We were going too fast. Oh no. Let's slow down before we get crazy. So guys, as far as other dynamics of the bike, suspension wise, we have adjustable in the front, adjustable in the rear. And if I remember correctly, it's 8.5 inches of travel. So a decent amount of travel. You are definitely going to be able to do all of your off-road shenanigans on this bike. It is a supremely popular ADV/off-road bike. So it definitely has the prowess, and it has those extra rider modes, gravel and off-road, built for going off-road with this bike. Overall, I've got no problems with the suspension. You know, we haven't done anything on this route so far that would really push that suspension, but I've got no problems, and it's adjustable. So if you had a problem, just adjust it. Let's hop over to the suspension real quick. First off, I got to give a shout to Honda. The feeling in their shifter is fantastic. It has a little bit of a push you got to give it to get it going into the next gear, but then you almost get a little click when it goes into that gear. It is so satisfying to get that click. I know as a rider where I'm at and when I've shifted. I love the feeling I'm getting out of that. And then as far as the gearing goes, rock solid. With the amount of power of this parallel twin, the gearing feels spread out exactly where I want it, at least for road riding. Off-road riding might be a little different, so you know, I would have to actually ride it off-road to really tell you guys that. But as far as riding around here on the streets, this is fantastic. It really gives you that fun, punchy power that you do expect out of a parallel twin, and I love this. This is awesome. That's the kind of power that gets me excited in the morning where I don't need a cup of coffee, my guy. We didn't touch on brakes, but I do believe they are Nissan brakes, and you know, we've hit the brakes a little bit here and there. We get a little more dives than I kind of wish we did. So if we hammer on the brakes, we've got ABS, but you see all that dive we get? That is something that I'm not a huge fan of. It is what it is. Maybe in the adjustable suspension model or the electronic suspension model, it could account for that. I don't know if they make this model like this with a 21-inch front tire with the electronic suspension. That is something I would really be curious of, because that's the only thing that I think that could really dial this bike even better than it currently is in this model. I don't want the DCT model. I want the clutch and everything, and I do want that 21-inch front tire if I was getting this bike personally. All right, let's talk about the controls and the dash and everything. Controls wise, it's kind of surprising because if you look at this side, we've got the cruise control on the right side and then the starter obviously, but that's it. And then everything else is on the left side. I generally don't mind this, even though there are a lot of buttons here on the left. You know, these big adventure bikes, they have a big menu that you can really navigate through. So I'm kind of okay with the big controls here. Everything feels good. When I press it, you can tell it's got that quality that's going to last for a long time. So I do appreciate that. Honda's known for a few things, and reliability is probably the main one. So it's good to see that they've got good buttons here. I don't love that the levers are silver and they're a little slippery. So levers are easy. I'd swap them out, no problem. And we have an adjustable clutch lever. Do we have an adjustable? Hey, we have an adjustable brake lever. We love it. So I appreciate that they are adjustable. they're actually in a good spot for me. I got no problems with that. Then we have the double dashes up front. Now, when I first saw the bike, I was like, you know what, this is a little weird that we have the little lower dash thing. I don't really know what that's about. Kind of weird. Whatever. I look past it, don't really care. I will say that so far, my experience on the Africa Twin, the biggest negative of this entire motorcycle is the user interface for the top dash. I don't think the quality is necessarily that bad on the top dash. It's okay. It's not like super high quality or anything, but it's also a Honda and the MSRP is like $14,700 or something like that. So I don't expect a crazy dash. I love the size, but the user interface is so bad to go through the menus and just change things. There are so many examples on the market right now that have a very complicated motorcycle. The Ducatis, the KTMs, the Triumphs. These are the BMWs. These are very complicated bikes and they do need a complicated menu, but this menu is such a pain to get through. It would take me forever to figure out how to do things. And I think there are much better ways to lay out the user interface on a motorcycle with a big dash like that has a lot of electronics, and it gets the most negative marks for that dash and the user interface, which it is a pretty big deal because that user interface you're going to be looking at all the time, but it's also not a huge deal because literally everything on this bike is so good. That's the main negative. I mean, I feel like that's okay, you know what I mean? Like, and obviously you guys have to remember my perspective on these. I'm getting on a bike, I'm spending 2 hours on it, and then I'm getting on the next bike, you know? So I don't have a lot of time to judge user interfaces or learn the motorcycle. So a lot of user interface issues are something that you're just gonna get used to as you own the motorcycle. So it may not even be a big deal to you. One last note is I hate that the blinker is down and back and tucked in where all these buttons are. I have such a hard time getting to the blinker on this bike, but it is what it is. So guys, y'all been seeing me on the bike with our awesome camera car footage. Shout out to all the sponsors of the channel that allows us to get that camera car footage for you guys. I'm gonna pull off up here and do a little walk around of the bike because I do think the Africa Twin is one of the better looking like big ADV bikes on the market. I love the looks of this thing, and especially for this new model, they tightened some stuff up. They got it looking even better. Look at that, 100 horsepower, not a problem, just whipping this thing around a parking lot. Dude, never would I have expected that. Parking spot 147 at the church. Let's go. I just realized I film at a lot of church parking lots. Weird. Boom, kickstand down, bike over, off the bike. Alrighty, guys. 2024 Honda Africa Twin base model. You know what? The red may be my favorite colorway. I do very much dig the looks of the red, and I massively appreciate the red on the seat. Very nice touch. Also, guys, didn't mention this yet. This bike has a 5-gallon gas tank, so going to be a phenomenal motorcycle to do long trips on because you're barely going to have to fill up. And then we can see our parallel twin here. Lovely freaking engine. That exhaust is the size of a small continent. I do appreciate them for putting a guard here. One that could be a heat shield, but it's also going to protect the bike if the bike falls over, which if you're riding this bike like I imagine a lot of people are going to, the bike is going to fall over, and that is nice that your exhaust has a better chance at not getting damaged. You guys can see our double disc Nissan brakes up front, and I imagine it's a Nissan in the rear. Yeah, no problem with that. It is a chain drive bike, and if we go over here, you guys can see that skid plate at the bottom. It looks a little thin to me. If I was to buy this motorcycle and do the type of riding I would want to do on it, I would definitely look into upgrading that skid plate. Overall, I love the look. My favorite part of the bike is probably that the front looks like a pissed off dude. He's just like, Urgh. I love the look of it though. It's flashy. If you guys wanted to tell the difference in this model and like the newest one, this one, and the previous models, you'd have to look at side-by-side photos. There's little changes here on the fairings and lots of tiny little changes. Very Honda. They know they have a great motorcycle, so now it's just fine tuning, which is always cool. So guys, what I'm going to do is grab my phone and I'm going to record some stuff for our people on our vertical platforms, TikTok and Instagram. If you guys aren't following us over there, we're at C2W Pics on Instagram, and we're at Chaseontwowheels on TikTok. You guys go over there and check these videos out. I'll be right back. And my friends, that is it for the vertical content. Go check us out over there, and we will get back to it because we have a couple things left to figure out, my friends. We got to see what the steering stem lock is and see how good it does here. But then, the ultimate question, is it a purchase or pass? We shall find out. We are in first. Good God, the steering stem is locked, and the screen's still turning on, by the way. Let's get our tight turn done. Holy shit. Dude, that one is even better than the one I did the other day on the CRF 300. Woo! Top 10% for the Africa Twin turnaround. We love it. You know, here at the Chase on Two Wheels channel, we love a tight turnaround test. We really do. Can we go? Can we go? Yes, we can go. Yes, we can go. That exhaust is stock. Oh my goodness, it feels so good. I love it. All right, guys, you have sat through this entire video, of course, to find out if the 2024 Honda Africa Twin base model is a purchase or pass. Bro, absolute purchase. Holy crap. I love this bike so much that I will entirely look past that garbage user interface. I would get used to it eventually. I don't care about the 500-pound weight. Dude, I've told you guys, I like these heavier motorcycles. Would it suck ass to have to pick it up off-road? Yeah, probably it would. But when I'm spending 20% of my time off-road and 80% of my time on-road, I think I'm gonna make some concessions. For real though, guys, getting the bike rolling on the street, the 500 pounds drifts away. The thing that slows you down more on the street is that 21-inch front tire. I think power delivery, I think rider aids, I think seat comfort, environmental protection, 5-gallon gas tank. Dude, this is a touring ADV behemoth. I totally understand why the Africa Twin has the cult following that it does. Also, side note, there's a lot of dudes on Instagram with an Africa Twin that treat this thing like a damn trials bike. So if you are ever curious what an Africa Twin is capable of in the hands of a psychopath, you guys need to go over Instagram, search Africa Twin, and just drool for a little while. It's fascinating. But overall, guys, I do love this bike. The ideal rider that I think needs it is somebody that can deal with vans not going at green lights. And other than that person, I feel like this is definitely a more experienced rider situation. It is 100 horsepower and 83 foot-pounds of torque. As you guys have seen through this first ride, it has got a punch of power. And it is a lot to control, so I'm definitely not going to put early riders in. But once you have the experience and you're ready for something with rider aids, comfort from the elements that you could ride across the country without even blinking, that has the off-road ability that this bike has, I think you guys would love this bike. You know, now that I got my wreck a month or so ago and I'm looking into what my next touring / ADV bike is, and I'm going to be 100% with you guys, the Africa Twin is in that list. I love the looks, I love the capability, and I would be willing to look past the screen. That's all I got, guys. Put OC in your comment, meaning outro crew. It means you made it to the end of the video and I love you a little bit longer. But let me know what other bikes I should look into for a big touring bike that can do off-road. Let me know that in the comments down below, guys. And big shout out to Mountain Motorsports for letting us borrow this bike. That is the dealership we started at. We will have a bike provided by, link in the description down below. I have been Chase on Two Wheels. You guys have been awesome. You guys go out there and ride safe. I'll see you on the next one. Later, guys.